So here's a slightly controversial headline to this video, which is you don't need new customers.
Oh, don't be stupid. We always need new customers.
Everybody needs new customers. So often what we hear is that people go out and they focus, I want to grow my business, I want to improve my profitability. And what do we need more of?
Customers.
Clients. Customers.
More people.
We're saying to you, you don't.
Because we're stupid.
Yeah, we're stupid. Or we've got a slightly different take on it. And often what we find is that people are sitting on a gold mine in their business, but they really don't realize that, and they don't start mining the gold that's there. And I think you got a great story that really emphasizes this point.
Yeah, absolutely. A number of years ago, call it 20, I was in the market for a bike. I decided I wanted to get fit and healthy, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll buy a bike.
And in those days, it was one without a battery, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, no batteries in those days. So you actually did get fit by riding on a bike. And someone I knew had a bike guy. You know, he had his bike guy. He was a mammal, a middle-aged man in Lycra, and he referred me to his bike guy. And he said, look, knowing that I was a business coach, because we've been doing this for nearly 24 years, he said, this guy needs a bit of help with his business. He's a fantastic guy. He knows everything there is to know about bikes. He was an ex-Olympian, but he needs some help with his business. So before heading out there, I'd written a list of all the accessories I needed with my new bike.
Very prepared.
And I was very prepared, surprisingly. And because I hadn't owned a bike for 20 years, I'd bought bikes for my two sons, you know, over the years I'd bought multiple bikes, but I hadn't bought myself a bike. I hadn't owned one for a long time. So, you know, the first thing I needed was a helmet. But the other thing was I had no idea what this bike would cost me. So I just wanted a pretty basic bike, and I thought it's going to cost me about $1,000. So I had $1,000 in my head. Probably need about $7,500 these days. But anyhow, so I go out to this bike shop, and this bike shop was 45 minutes out of town. The guy was a dead set expert. He knew everything there was to know about bikes. In fact, the whole sales experience was great. He asked me so many questions about where I was going to ride it, when I was going to ride it, how I was going to ride it, what sort of terrain.
Did you ever ride it? Oh, sorry, no,
that's another story. That's another video. I took it I took a couple of bikes for a test drive in his car park. We chose the perfect bike. It's called a hybrid. Let's not go there. Anyway, I'm wheeling it up to the counter. I said, how much is it? He said, $380. I thought, you beauty. I've got $620 burning a hole in my pocket. I hand over the card, and he's about to swipe the card. And I said, wait a minute. He says, what? Looking at the card as though it was, I don't know, a counterfeit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I said, look, I haven't ridden a bike in 20 years. And he looks at me and goes, I know you told me. I said, I haven't ridden a bike in 20 years. He said, I know you told me. And then finally it twigged. He goes, helmet. Because helmet laws are changed. They've been in a long time now, but they'd only just changed a few years before. So we go to the helmet shelves, and there's 3 shelves. Which one, you know, high value, middle of the range, cheapies. Now, he didn't try to sell me a cheapie, but he went to the middle instead of the top of the range. Now, it's my head. I want to protect it. So
as beautiful as it is.
I chose the top of the... It is a beautiful head, very round. I chose the top of the range helmet. We get that to the counter. He's about to swipe the card. And I said, wait a minute. He said, what? I said, what if I go and stop for a cup of coffee on my first ride? And he's looking at me as I'm an F-wit at this stage, which is fair enough. And he says, what are you talking about? I said, well, what if I leave the bike outside the coffee shop? He goes, bike chain. I needed a bike chain. I needed a stand. They don't sell bikes with stands anymore. That's ridiculous, right? I needed a drink holder. I needed a puncture repair kit. I've never used it, but I needed a pump. I needed lights. I've never ridden it at night. But in my mind,
just stick with never.
What if I did? I needed it. I needed a little pouch that goes under your seat to hold the puncture repair kit and a couple of other things. I had 11 things. I bought all of them. They were $250. Now, where is the margin? In the bike, where's the highest GP percentage? It's in the accessories. Now, imagine that same scenario. He's found the ideal bike, and if he's just said, look, Harry, I've got a simple little checklist I'm going to run through, which asks you about what type of accessories you might need. You might have some of these at home. What am I going to say?
Of course.
Go ahead, go through it. And he would have said, do you need a pump? I would have gone, great. Yeah, have you got a bike helmet, etc., etc. Now,
easiest way to do it, isn't it? So easy with the checklist. It's just effortless.
And it would have unlocked $250 in value. Now, where are you missing out on, not truly serving your customers? Because if you didn't sell me that helmet, I wasn't driving 45 minutes out of town to get one. I was going to the Big W, which is almost across the road from my house, and just buying whatever helmet they had there so I could actually ride. And human nature, I would have blamed him.
So what was he focused on potentially after you've left? It would have been get another client in, get another client in, get another client in, rather than maximising the ones that are there.
We're already at his drive-through window. He just needs to say, do you want to upsize that?
You're on the gold mine. You're sitting on the gold mine. You've got to mine it. You've got to get in there and mine it.
And the other part of it is he wouldn't have truly helped me, and he wasn't going to. I helped myself. But how many other clients walked out of there not being sold exactly what they needed? They needed a bike, but they needed a whole lot more. Now, in your business, we've got a simple tool.
It's not one of them. Is that me?
You're the simple tool in our business. We've got a simple tool. Just comment simple tool and we'll send you out a workbook that goes along with our add-on sales course. It's one of our online courses, but we've told you the story that's the crux of that video anyway. And the workbook is full of tips and things that you can apply straight away to boost your add-on sales. In other words, instead of looking for new customers, how do you help the customers you got more, which flows to your bottom line and improves your final exit valuation when it comes time to sell your business.
So simple tool.
Simple tool. Just comment. Don't draw one.